Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the More Money Show comes in. If you're ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the show. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and today we are continuing with Manifest 10,000. I'm super excited to be reading the next couple chapters to you in this episode. I love this book. I love the energy of it, and I just love what it opens to create. You know, so often I will get emails, which I love, and I want to hear if this happens to you listening to the podcast, because I've already heard about it with Change Your Money Story. You know, someone was telling me the other day, oh yeah, I listened to Change Your Money Story on the podcast, and you know, the intention is to manifest $20. And a couple days later I realized, oh, I did manifest $20. And so just become more aware of what's showing up in your life, because that's half of it. I was going to say half the battle, but it's not a battle. That's half the fun, and it's half of what makes it work is noticing, oh, this is happening. This is going to happen. So I'm excited to read the book today. I'm just also excited about life. We just had the Manifest $1,000 in 10 days challenge, and I don't have all the numbers in, but what I know for certain is that almost all of the Enchanted Circle, like that I've heard from, I haven't heard from everybody, but you know, as you remember listening to the episode about this challenge, that the Enchanted Circle members is really their assignment was just to set it and forget it, like set the intention and put it on their calendar and manifest. And I saw yesterday one of them was like, it happened, I put it on my calendar for this day, and I manifested it more than $1,000 before that day. And so many stories like that. And I love it because that's higher level manifesting. And so I love manifesting $10,000. But what I love as much of that is how this is a stepping stone for that kind of manifesting, for what I would call advanced LOA, higher level. That's when you really just start to be this person who no longer has anything, like whose thoughts don't, you know, I don't talk a lot about limiting beliefs and things like that and negative thoughts and stuff like that, because you all know how I feel about that. If you focus on them, you get more of them. And what happens is become a person where those don't ever happen. Right? It doesn't mean that you won't emotionally face fear as you grow, or that things, you know, there won't be some grieving your old self, or emotionally that you might have to go through some growing pains. But it means that you don't come up against, you know, a belief like, oh, there's no way I can manifest $1,000 in 10 days. You become a person who's like, yeah, I want to manifest $1,000 in the next 10 days. And you just have that thought, and there's no other thoughts negating that. Like everything else might not be in direct support of that that's going on in your head, and yet there's no thoughts that ever negate that. It's like, yes, that's what I want, and all the thoughts in your head might not be about manifesting $1,000, because when you get to that higher level, it's about not thinking about that. But all the other thoughts are, I'm amazing, I'm awesome, money flows to me, I'm good with money. Like that's just the thoughts that are always in your head. And so they automatically support that intention. And it doesn't have to be money. Often I'll say, oh, I want this experience, and it'll happen. And, you know, I don't even put a lot of energy into it. It's just like, oh, that would be cool. One day as a fleeting thought, like, yeah, I want that. And 3 days later it shows up, or 2 months later it shows up. And that's really that higher level space. And what excites me about reading Manifest 10K to you is that this is the first step, right? You identify your money story so that you become aware, so that you can start to choose differently, which we read that book a couple weeks ago. And then you step into manifesting $10,000, because the best way to write your new money story is to do it from a place of manifesting, is to create more money in your life. And so that's what we do next, right? And I love it. I love that. So that's what we're building on is, you know, manifest 10,000 is the next step. And it's really the stepping stone to being the person who's like, yeah, $1,000 is going to show up in my life, and I'm super excited about it. And it's going to happen. Right? So I love it. And I love all the people who joined the challenge and were open and shared and showed up. That's the thing. You know, I'm going to do a whole show on showing up towards the end of the year, because really showing up for growth and showing up for yourself, that's where the magic is, right? What I teach is awesome and it has its own magic, but it's like a spell. My niece was just watching Hocus Pocus for Halloween, right? It's like a spell has all these things. And so all of the things in Manifest 10,000, the book, and in the Enchanted Circle, all of those are set up for magic. But the one ingredient I can't add is you showing up, you doing the work, you opening, you being vulnerable, you being willing to be coached. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to leave that for a whole show. If you are interested, if you missed the challenge, it was such a success that I'm actually I'm opening it up. So you can go to, I will fix this. I'm just realizing it hasn't been done, but you can go to manifest1000 or manifest $1,000. I'm sorry, manifest1000dollars.com, spelled out dollars, and join, because it was so successful and it was so awesome and I loved and I just enjoyed it. So I don't know how long it'll go on, but I have made it an evergreen course, so it's a little bit different. You get recordings of the calls that we did last week, which is awesome because that's everything you need. All the beginner questions are generally the same. Because you're all starting from this place and you're all opening. So you get access to that. I've built it up really amazing in a whole other way, so that it's there for you when you're ready. So go to manifest100dollars.com and join if you missed out last week, because it's going to be awesome. And right now, let's jump into chapter 4, why people don't manifest money quickly and easily. So last week, you heard some stories about how money has manifested quickly and easily into people's lives, and why, and I can't wait to write a whole book about, money showing up. So why doesn't everyone manifest money quickly and easily? In the introduction, which we talked about last week on the show, I said that most people find the law of attraction when something is wrong. So they work on their limiting beliefs and feeling better. And my bad, that was actually 2 shows ago, because last week was this special episode. Then they get good at manifesting free stuff and parking spaces. What comes next is manifesting, in quotes, the big stuff, like $10,000. Making the transition from free stuff to big money sends most people back to a mindset of trying to fix things. These are the reasons people have not manifested money. You force it. Your brain gets in the way. You have limiting beliefs. You're working the list. You're doing more. You're not being clear about what's wanted. Your lack of focus, your beliefs about debt, and not noticing the evidence. So these are all the reasons we're going to talk about that you're not manifesting money. So first, you force it. One of the reasons you have gotten twisted up trying to manifest money is because your brain can only think of so many ways it can manifest before one of 2 things happens. Either you go fully into trying to manifest by using the ways you think are possible, or you put together a list of manifesting techniques from a bunch of different sources and start doing all of them. In the first case, deciding to manifest based on a way you think it will happen, you go to work trying to make that happen. That is actually using brute force, but calling it the law of attraction. One of the clues you are going about this in this way is that you devise a plan. Very often, if you set an intention to manifest a bunch of money, let's use $10,000, and then 10 minutes later come up with a plan to execute manifesting your intention, you are controlling the how instead of allowing your intention to do the manifesting. Why is this? Because in the 10 minutes between setting an intention and devising a plan, it's likely that you have become a person who has an additional $10,000. If you intend to have something that you don't yet have, your job is not to create a plan to get it, but rather to become the person who has it. When you step into the beingness of a person who has $10,000, rather than the doingness of the person with the specific plan, the money either just shows up or you are led down an easy path to creating it. Your brain resists change. In the second case, where you put together a list of manifesting techniques from a bunch of different places, your brain starts resisting because it can't come up with a plan of how to make it all happen. Your brain's primary job is to keep you safe. Most people don't consider money dangerous, and likely neither does your brain. However, your brain likes to know where you are going so it can make sure It and you are safe. Most manifesting programs don't take this part into account. They don't warn you that at some point your brain may take over and try to steer you back or try to alert you to the fact that as you step into the version of yourself who has $10,000, you might experience brain detox, which is the process your brain sometimes goes through when you are shifting your focus and how you feel about money. When you experience brain detox or resistance, it can be hard to continue doing the full list of manifesting techniques, and it's easy to get frustrated because your emotions feel out of whack and you feel worse than normal. So it feels like it's not working. This is the point where many people stop, which actually causes you to lose momentum and does not allow the shift to take place. Brain interference is one of the main reasons I see for why people get off the manifesting train too early and thus do not experience success. How do you fix this? First, just the awareness of the fact that it happens will help. The other thing that helps immensely is following a proven LOA system. Most people, when they get off track, will simply go back to the list and start doing every manifesting technique under the sun. The reason this isn't hugely successful is because it's about taking bits and pieces from a whole bunch of different LOA systems. That's like trying to bake a cake by using bits of ingredients from recipes for making brownies, cookies, and a cake. Each recipe turns out fine when it's followed just on its own, but swapping out and mixing up recipes probably isn't going to yield a yummy cake. It might turn out well, or you might end up wasting a whole bunch of time and energy because what you created isn't edible. Similarly, when you put the pieces together from a whole bunch of manifesting systems, it's possible that it could work, but it's also possible that you'll waste a bunch of time and energy and not get the results you were intending. Following a system that has a structure in place for keeping you on track in those moments when your brain wants you to get off track is super helpful. Limiting beliefs. As I said in the introduction, people will often go backward in the process of manifesting money. When they decide to manifest more money, it doesn't happen right away. They start looking for limiting belief they can fix so they can start manifesting more money. And then, you know what happens. They find more limiting beliefs that need fixing, and thus the cycle continues because the more you look for limiting beliefs and work on fixing them, the more you become somebody who has something wrong with them that prevents them from manifesting money. Every time you take the stance, there must be a limiting belief in the way. You are both telling the universe there is a reason why what you want can't happen, and reinforcing the belief in your brain that when it's not working, it's because there's something wrong with you, and therefore you aren't a person who can manifest more money into their life. Eventually, whether you're aware of it or not, you start believing that you aren't a person who can manifest money until you are fixed. In quotes. Have you done that before? I did it many, many times, and it never helped more money come into my life. In fact, it repelled money. I couldn't figure out why I was repelling money when I was trying so hard to fix everything about myself. But I felt like I was going backward with money. This is exactly why I was trying to fix, in quotes, my way into manifesting. As long as you are being a version of yourself that needs fixing, you cannot be a version of yourself who is manifesting money quickly and easily. Those are two different people, and while they have similarities because they are both you, the differences will keep the money at bay. You don't have to fix yourself in order to manifest more money. You simply have to step into the version of yourself that is experiencing the money you wish to have. It might sound complicated right now, but trust me, it is easier than trying to fix yourself. I'll walk you through the process later in the book. Right now, take a deep breath and say out loud to yourself, I am good enough right now to manifest more money into my life. I'm going to say it again. I am good enough right now. Repeat after me. I am good enough right now to manifest more money into my life. How did that feel? Are you able to breathe deeper? Do you feel lighter, more free? These better feelings are going to do more for you in terms of manifesting money than fixing any belief will. Working the list. Another reason people don't manifest money is that they're doing a whole bunch of things on their list of ways to manifest things, and they're trying to make things work. What I have found when I ask clients about their list is that it's a bunch of random stuff they've picked up from a lot of different sources. All of the things on the list probably work perfectly well. However, when you start doing your list instead of increasing your focus on what you desire, it divides your focus and makes what you're doing less effective. The more you add to the list, the more you send out the signal that it's not working, so you have to do more. That is hard work. When doing and hard work are your focus, what are you going to get more of? You cannot create what you want in the energy of what you do not want. What that means if you want more money because it is going to make your life easier, you cannot work harder to manifest it. You have to somehow work easier. You have to find a way to place to a place that mirrors what you desire is going to feel like. I'm going to say it again. You have to find your way to a place that mirrors what your desire is going to feel like. If having more money would make your life easier, you have to be in a place of ease now, even before the money manifests. Adding more and more to your to-do list for manifesting is the opposite of creating ease. It also is likely creating a whole bunch of negative feelings, like possibly guilt, shame, overwhelm, or frustration. Those feelings will repel money. Look over your list and evaluate why you are doing what. Are you doing things on your list because they make you feel more like someone who has the money you desire? In other words, are they things that are actually helping you step into the beingness of someone who has money? Or are they things you're doing in the hope that they will work to manifest money? The most important things to do are the things that tap into the feelings of abundance and that help you be the version of yourself that has money. The good news here is that you don't have to do anything to try to manifest. When you learn to prune your list down based on what helps you step into being someone with money, the list will get a lot smaller and a lot easier to do. Your list will then be more powerful and more effective. Doing more. This reason is closely related to the one we just talked about. The ultimate goal of the list, in quotes, should be to move you into the beingness of the version of yourself who has what you desire. So often people think if they do more, they will get more. I have seen it proven time and time again that if you do less with intention, you will create more. You can breathe a huge sigh of relief right now because you aren't going to put this book down and need to add 10 more things to your list, in quotes. How does it feel to know you can do less and manifest more? The goal with every single manifesting tool that you are using should be to bring you closer in sync with the version of yourself that has what you desire and is living life accordingly. You have probably heard this 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it again. You have to be the person who already has what you desire. What does that really mean? It means you can't do 10 money manifesting exercises and go to the store with a head full of the thought that you don't have enough money to make the choices you want to make at the store. It means choosing to appreciate what is in front of you rather than lamenting about what you don't have. It's not the hour you spend on your manifesting practices that matters the most. It's who you are being the other 23 hours. Yes, what you do matters, but it gets erased if you walk around all day being a person who doesn't have money. Maybe that last line totally makes sense, yet you are wondering, but how? The how takes practice and being diligent, but it is definitely possible, and we're going to discuss it in the next chapter. Not being clear about what's wanted. The next reason people don't manifest money is because they're not clear about what they actually want. People think they want to manifest money. If that was true and I walked up and handed you $1, would you consider your manifestation a success? You may say, oh, no, I meant I wanted $10,000. So often people just ask for money. That is too broad. That could literally mean any amount of money from a penny to an infinite number of dollars. That's why this book is called Manifest 10,000 instead of Manifest Money. The book's intention was clear when you picked it up. You're going to learn how to manifest a specific amount of money. Now, let's go a step further into clarity. Truthfully, it's not even the $10,000 that you really want. It's what you want to get with the $10,000. I'm guessing that what you want the money for is something like this. $3,000 for that beach vacation, $2,000 to pay off your car, $1,000 to go shopping, $1,000 to give away, and $3,000 to put in savings. Even if I don't have it quite right, you're probably thinking and calculating your own list in your head right now, which is awesome. That means you're getting more clear about what you desire. Visualizing that list is probably a lot more fun than just imagining $10,000 in your hands or your bank account. It's fun to imagine yourself on the beach or driving your car knowing that you own it free and clear. What song is playing the first time you drive your car when it's paid off? Or feel yourself writing a check to your favorite charity and knowing what a difference it's going to make. Now, get even clearer and define what you're going to do with the money you no longer have to pay toward that car, now that your car is paid off. What will you do with that $300? Add a weekly massage, go out to fancy dinner a couple of times a month, have a weekend getaway? What is doing those things going to feel like? Can you see how important clarity is? It drives everything else. When you start out crystal clear, it makes everything you do in terms of manifesting greater. That's a bonus that comes along with being super clear. And that is the universe knowing what you actually want, which makes it much easier to deliver. For example, if your beach vacation were to manifest differently than you manifesting the money first and then using it to pay for the beach vacation you want, what would that be? Would that be just as good? There are so many examples of people in the Manifest 10K course who get exactly what they wanted for $10,000, but who get it directly without manifesting the money. The money really is the middleman, and the universe can often cut it out altogether when you're clear about what you really desire. Lack of focus. Being clear can help you avoid the next reason people don't manifest quickly and easily, which is that they are focused on the wrong thing. What you focus on matters, especially when it comes to manifesting money. The biggest mistake I see people make is that they're trying to manifest being out of debt. What you focus on grows. So if you focus on getting out of debt, you're likely to create more debt. Even if you do get out of debt, the likelihood that something will happen that puts you right back in is high, because that is where your focus has been. So you're going to get more of it. This is the way the law of attraction works. The universe doesn't say, oh, I'm pretty sure debt isn't what they want, so let's give them something else instead. The universe just gives you what you focus on. I had to learn this lesson myself. When I was focused on getting out of debt, it seemed like every month I was somehow adding to my debt. I wouldn't mean to, but I would forget my debit card, so I'd put something on my credit card and then forget to pay off the new charge when I got home. Then I would do it again, and at the end of the month, my debt would have gotten higher. That kept happening until I realized I was focusing on what I didn't want more of. I started to focus on what I did want: money for taking vacations and getting massages. The reason trips people up. This reason trips people up because, like I did, they think they are focusing on what they want, getting out of debt, but it's not actually what they want. If you want to get out of debt, what you likely want is the extra money that will give you each month, or the freedom you'll feel knowing the debt has been taken care of. You don't want to be, in quotes, out of debt. You want something beyond that. You want what being out of debt will get you. If you don't figure out what that is and start focusing on it, it will be hard to manifest the money to get out of debt. I recently talked to a man who told me he could visualize paying off his mortgage, but there didn't seem to be any depth to that intention. He wanted advice on how to visualize it better. I explained this concept about focusing on debt and asked him why he wanted to pay off his mortgage. I suggested he start thinking about what his life would look like a year after he had paid off his mortgage, because it's the life beyond the mortgage that he really wanted to manifest. He thought about it and realized what he really wanted was the option to not have to go to work if he chose not to. What he really wanted to manifest was freedom. Do you see that freedom is a completely different focus point than debt? When you master the ability to define and focus on what you really want, manifesting becomes easy. You get to a point where all you do is make a quick decision and laser focus on what you actually desire, and it will show up quickly and easily. Beliefs about debt. Speaking of debt, another debt-related reason people don't manifest money is because they hold the belief that it is the debt that's holding them back. So they want to figure out how to get it out of the way so they can move forward. But again, as long as they're focused on debt, they're going to create more of it. People often think that debt is what's holding them back. It's not. It's the obsession with it and the attachment to it being negative that holds them back. People try to shift their feelings and be positive about debt. That is a big shift and can take a lot of effort, but it's still not a focus that on what is actually wanted. The answer is to find a way to see debt as neutral. It is what it is. It's already there, and it can either continue to consume your focus, which will create more of it, or you can leave it alone and instead shift all that energy onto focusing on what you do want more of: the beach, the vacation, freedom, whatever it is. I used to obsess over how much debt I had before I understood this manifesting block. When I understood it, I set up automatic payments to pay off the debt and left the debt alone. Instead of focusing on the debt, I put all my energy into what I did want. Soon, because there was no energy left for the debt, it shrank to nothing. I kid you not. I do not even remember paying off my last couple of credit cards because I had done such a good job of focusing on what I wanted that there was no energy left for even the end of the debt. Here's the reality of debt. In the beginning, while you're learning to manifest money, it's easy to manifest a monthly payment. It is more easy to manifest a monthly payment than it is to manifest the amount that it would pay the debt in full. That's because of where your focus is. If you can manifest the money for what you desire, does it really matter if you have debt? Not noticing the evidence. The last thing I see that keeps people from manifesting money is that they don't notice the evidence that their money vibe is shifting. They get stuck on looking for that big number, $10,000, to show up. So they miss all the little amounts that are adding up to $10,000 and the magic happening around them that is the momentum in the direction they desire. When you pay attention and put energy and focus onto what is going right, things go right more often. You get more of what you want quicker and easier. This requires you to start noticing all the little things that mean money is on its way. In order to manifest more money into your life, it takes shifting all the issues I've discussed in this chapter. There is an order in which to focus on things that makes it happen faster and more easily, which I'll tell you about in the next chapter. And I'm going to read that chapter on next week's episode of the show because I want you to think about and process and give yourself time to become aware of these things that I've talked about. Do you do this? Have you had an over focus on debt? And start to unwind that focus and think about, what do I want? What do I want when there's no $300,000, $500,000, $1,000 payment a month? Really think about who you are in that situation and why you want that. And let's turn the focus onto that. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I am looking forward to continuing to read to you and have story time for Manifest 10,000. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us on The More Money Show. To learn the step-by-step process to welcome more money into your life, go to manifest10k.com.